threat to capital is a mobilized people.
Nosotros estamos viviendo un momento maravilloso en ese viaje del pueblo venezolano hacia su emancipación.
Lo que está pasando en Venezuela, si bien no es perfecto, es algo que apunta hacia un mundo diferente que el mundo que el neoliberalismo, capitalismo tardío, se podría llamar así, el imperio, están llevando a esta humanidad.
We found it an incredibly exciting, vibrant place to be. We really enjoyed it. We got loads of help from the people. It was such an exciting country to be in because of what's happening there. We got completely caught up in events. We learned a lot about politics while we were there. It's incredible to be in a country where a revolution is actually taking place, and to watch it happening on the ground, and to watch the people finding out about themselves and their country in a way that they hadn't done previously.
I mean, one of the reasons we made our film was because we wanted to correct the representation of Venezuela in the international Western media, which for a long time presented Chavez as an out-and-out dictator, as an authoritarian strongman, a kind of stereotype of Latin American leaders. I mean, the facts are that Venezuela has increased representative democracy in that country. More people are enfranchised, more people are voting, more people are involved in political discussion and debate. And furthermore, Venezuela is experimenting in other kinds of democratic practices, sort of more bottom-up, grassroots, participatory politics as well. So they're trying to do something different. But none of that reality is reflected in the Western media, who don't seem to have an interest or be able to engage with what's happening out there.
Can I just add that one of the things that we found when we were making the film is that Venezuelans themselves are very aware of that. And when they knew that we were making a film and bringing it back here to England, they all said to us, you know, please make sure that people know the truth about what's happening here. So yeah, Venezuelans themselves are very aware that they're misrepresented.
I think one of the important things about what's happening in Venezuela is that it's really the first and really still the only real break with neoliberal capitalism anywhere in the world. So for us in the West and in the UK, where the left has been very weak for some time, it's a real revelation to see practical alternatives being tested out. With the economic crisis in the West now, it's really important to be able to think of alternative models. Even though the capitalist economy is in crisis, there isn't much sense yet in this country, in the United Kingdom, of alternatives to the present system. And unless we can think of alternatives and imagine alternative models, we're going to just recycle the same mistakes.
No, and I think that's part of the problem. That's what amazed us. I mean, we were away when this crisis began, and when we got back, it was like, well, you know, there is a real alternative experiment now taking place at this moment, and no one's looking at it, no one's talking about it. And I think we've been very surprised at that. So I think one of the added things about this film is that it does show that there is another way to do things, that another world is possible. And hopefully, I mean, the problem at the moment, I think, is that the film's only being seen by people who perhaps are sympathetic to that point of view. The real difficulty is getting the film shown to people who perhaps are not sympathetic to that view, so they can see that there are other possibilities.
Well, I played baseball for a little bit, and I played a bit of football as well, and yeah, it was quite fun. I learnt Spanish, mostly swear words, and yeah, it was a bit of experience about these guys making a film. It was a bit boring sometimes, but yeah.
Hello, hi. My name is Thana Narashiman. It gives me great pleasure to actually attend this movie about Venezuela. I'm actually from Malaysia and been living in England for many years. I was very impressed with the movie actually. The reason is the movie actually presented Venezuela in a different perspective. Pretty much what it showed was Venezuela from the humanitarian perspective, from the people. One thing I like about Venezuela, I've done some research into Venezuela, is the fact that the Bolivarian Revolution presents a different alternative to the global system of finance. It looks like the Venezuela system is geared towards eradicating poverty. Venezuela itself is probably one of the first countries to actually implement the United Nations Millennium Goals. And what this movie shows is how the people are reacting to this so-called revolution, which is predominantly about social justice.